Good afternoon, you handsome lot, and by God, is it good to be back on the spanners. And today I've got a T5 transporter, which is slightly customised to say the least. This customer has fully personalised his vehicle, and it is something a little bit different. Right, well that is enough of that. Now I'm back off holiday and I am raring to go to get these vehicles fixed. Now this transporter is proper pimp. I like this sort of stuff. Now it has come in for a little bit of an oil leak from around the gearbox. So we're going to get the vehicle up in the air and see what's going on. Right, well as you can see I've now got this vehicle up in the air and it is jacked up as well, so we can spin the wheel if needs must. Now this driver side dry shaft seal has been leaking for quite some time by the looks of the staining of the gearbox oil. Let me just flip the camera around and we can show you now. Still getting used to my new camera, you'll have to bear with me. Well, there we go. That looks a little bit grossy. So should we get involved and get that seal replaced? Get this driver side wheel off now and split the ball joint. Now before we go taking that drive shaft out, what we're going to be doing is just draining the oil out of the gearbox, because what I'm going to do is put some fresh oil in it for this customer. Right, well we have now got the wheel off, we've got the centre dry shaft nut removed and also the bottom ball joint nut, which was a little bit seized, so I've had to use the Pickler heating duct to absolutely game change that. And of course as well, we're going to be using the Pickler suspension arm tool. And it's going to pull that suspension arm right down out of the way, if you can see. We're not faffing about with that arm springing back up. Now we can remove the dry shaft. There is two 13mm at the top, which I have removed, which are by there. And as you go ahead now and pull that shaft out. Right, well I have gone ahead and I've got that dry shaft out, and it isn't looking very good. Let me just show you something, because I think this is brilliant, right? Got a little script on the side of his van, right? They are genuine plasters hiding the scratch. I think that's brilliant. Anyway, let's get back to business. Now the dry shaft, the splines inside here which go into the output shaft on the gearbox have actually worn away. And I don't know if you can see. Let me get a little torch on there. Where's my torch? Hang on, I'll go and get a torch. Well, that's a little bit better. We've now got a little bit of a torch on the job. Now as you can see inside there, them splines are probably one wheel spin away from failing and leaving this van stranded on the side of the road. But however, if we go underneath, the actual splines on the output shaft themselves, they are perfect. But we are going to have to just clean all the debris off. I think what's happened with this, all the rust has come off the dry shaft and it is built up around here, and it is just damaged the dry shaft seal. So we're going to go ahead now, do a little bit of cleaning, and we're going to get that seal removed. To make this job a little bit easier for myself, I have removed the shaft out of the gearbox, which is a 6mm Allen key straight through the middle. And pull it out and be extra careful with these brass fittings around the bottom here, because they can fall off and they will be damaged. Now, if you don't follow Curbside Mechanic already, go and follow him, because he's just done a similar sort of job to this, where the dry shaft had worn and the splines on that axle had worn as well. Now, with that removed, we can get our little pry bar. Let's get a little bigger one. A little bigger one? Is there such a thing? I don't know. We can get a pry bar in there now and just honk that dry shaft seal out a little bit like that. Well, with a little bit of magic, we have now got the brand new dry shaft turned up. Now, I was going to reuse this, but it does look a little bit gropey and it is not in the best condition. So we've gone ahead to a local transmission shop and they have got these in stock. Luckily enough, they've got the right one, because it is a 5-speed gearbox and they are different 5 and 6. And also they did have a new dry shaft seal in stock, so I can cancel the one that I've ordered off TPS for the morning. We can get this van now back together. Let's start off with putting seal in. And there we go, with a little bit of magic now that dry shaft seal is put back in the box, and it is all nice and equal all the way around. We've given everything a nice clean-a-rooney. We have now got the dry shaft seal in, and we've also put that shaft back into the gearbox. Torqued the little 6mm Allen key up, and I've also, them splines there, I've covered them in copper slip to prevent any corrosion again. Right, let's get this brand new shaft slid on. Well, I've gone ahead and I've slid the dry shaft back in. We've tightened the 2 bolts up, holding it to the engine. Now, we like prevention, don't we? So what I've done again, copper slip on the end of the shaft as it goes through the dry flange. If it ever has to come out again, it's just going to slide out nice and easy, rather than hitting it and thrashing it with a little bit of a hammer. Right, so I'm going to get all this built back up. Right, well, as you can see, I've got this vehicle now back on the front wheels. Everything is torqued up to spec. Now I have removed the filling bung on the gearbox, which is located just at the back of the passenger side dry shaft. Now let's get some fresh oil in it. We're going to be using some Febby stuff with a Sealy transfer pump. Now this is brilliant. Put your fluid in, pump it up, open the lever, squirt it in. Simple as that. Well, with all them fluids now topped up and everything is as it should be, I'm going to take this little rally van now for a little bit of a test drive and make sure that everything is hunky-dory. Right, well, we are now back off our test drive and everything seems hunky-dory. The van drives nice and smooth, even though it's on coilovers and it's like this going down the road. Or too old for that sort of stuff now. But anyway, let's get back to absolutely bone dry. There we go. And there we have it. That is one dry shaft seal replacement on a Transporter T5. Wasn't expecting any of the bits to fail, like the dry shaft and that little shaft that goes into the gearbox, but you do run into problems like that on times. But however, this vehicle, the customer does like a few stickers, so I'm going to be leaving some of mine just on the passenger seat for him when he picks it up. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please click that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next. Let's get it sent.